A successful counteroffensive by the Ukrainian armed forces is currently underway in southern Ukraine. The military leadership is not in any rush to share optimistic news, but encouraging reports for Ukrainians keep coming from the front. All the details are in our report.
The Ukrainian counteroffensive does not stop for a moment. That very Zaporizhzhia region continues to bring good news. In particular, this time it was the fighters of the main intelligence directorate of the Ministry of Defense of Ukraine who distinguished themselves. According to our intelligence officers, the fighters of the Artan unit recaptured key positions near Stepnohirsk in the Zaporizhzhia region. A series of successful offensive operations was carried out by the special forces of the main intelligence directorate.
The effectiveness of the offensive actions near Stepnohirsk was due to the high level of coordination among the forces involved. The assault groups operate with the support of heavy strike UAV crews, artillery, and other means of firepower. Engagement.
The fighters have significantly improved the tactical situation in this sector of the front and have also destroyed the advanced assault groups of the Russian army. We're talking about dozens of occupiers. At the same time, strikes on the enemy's logistics and communication hubs made it impossible. There are further assaults in this direction.
Air assault units, including Russian Airborne Forces VDV units, were also actively engaged in this sector. And today we see that as a direct result of the dedicated efforts of our assault units, our main intelligence directorate units, in particular the special unit Artan, it was possible to successfully neutralize and eliminate these enemy advances, truly improve our tactical positions, and accordingly prevent the Russians from reaching the strategically important high ground.
Analysts note that these results are also due to the fact that the Russians have not been able to recover after being disconnected. They no longer have Starlink terminals. Despite attempts to restore satellite communications, they have not been able to reach previous levels. They lack sufficient intelligence data. Operational command of frontline units has been disrupted, and the accuracy of their strikes has dropped significantly. Partly because of this, assault troops are constantly running into Ukrainian ambushes.
The tactic of infiltrating in small groups has proven to be unsuccessful. And it was not simply because Ukrainian forces used kamikaze drones in Kyiv, and certainly not just because they unexpectedly came across classic small arms fire from the enemy. A ground-based robotic system armed with a machine gun opened fire on the Russian occupiers. They didn't stand a chance.
For security reasons, the exact location of this incident is not being disclosed. All that is known is that the defenders from the 32nd Brigade of the Ukrainian Armed Forces were involved, and there will only be more such operations. It seems that Europe has decided to make a serious investment in offensive weapons for Ukraine. It is already confirmed that France and Norway will finance the transfer of aviation munitions and surveillance systems to us, totaling approximately $460 million. The weapons will be supplied from the warehouses of the French army, which will allow Ukraine to build on the success of its offensive in the coming months.
This offensive is important not because of the amount of liberated land, but because the Ukrainian army is stabilizing the situation in the south and pushing Russian units back.
At the same time, analysts note that today's successes of the armed forces of Ukraine are, among other things, the result of reforms carried out in the defense forces. The transition to a core system has essentially allowed command decisions to be made on the ground, rather than waiting for approval from the center. This also applies to decisions regarding strikes against the enemy. This has significantly reduced both the time needed to approve operations and increased the effectiveness of our attacks.
Drones from the Ukrainian Special Operations Forces struck the area where the Bastion Missile Division is located in Crimea. This is a coastal missile system that was originally designed as an anti-ship weapon. However, its Onyx missiles are being used to strike Ukrainian cities and the ports of Odessa. Drones also hit an ammunition depot near the village of Nizhnyaya Krinka and a logistics warehouse in the area of Velika Novosilka. That's all. Donetsk region.
As for the Ukrainian counteroffensive itself, the military command currently reports that it is already disrupting the Kremlin's strategic plans for 2026. To support the retreating forces from Zaporizhzhia, Russia is transferring reserves that it had kept for the spring and summer of this year. And the only result this brings is a significant increase in losses among the occupiers.
It's obvious that the deadlines for the Zaporizhzhia front, for the offensive on the city of Zaporizhzhia, are not just going to be adjusted by the enemy today, but accordingly, the enemy will probably be forced to change its plans because it has been pushed back from the positions it was trying to fortify.
The General Staff also notes that they report the situation from the front lines with a deliberate delay so as not to disrupt the operations of the defense forces. And since the rhetoric of our military hasn't changed, we can say with confidence, the Ukrainian armed forces have clearly advanced farther than has been officially stated,